Warning. Geesebumps is a comedy podcast based on the works of R.L. Stine. Any similarity to an actual literature podcast is coincidental and unintentional.
Right brain, wrong body. Gary Lutz needs a vacation from himself. Bullies are constantly beating him up. His only friend is his computer. Even his little sister doesn't like him. But now, Gary's dream is about to come true. He's going to exchange bodies with another kid for a whole week. Gary can't wait to get a new body until something horrible happens, and Gary finds out his new body isn't exactly human.
Yeah, join the fucking club, bro.
Yeah, it's called fucking puberty, dude. Welcome to Geesebumps, a Did You Mean Goosebumps podcast. My name is Danielle, and I have a PhD.
My name is Jojo, and I have a PhD.
My name is Jeff, and I am a honey boy.
You are a honey boy. We can't forget that.
Don't forget it.
Never will. I saw someone on Nextdoor posting that they have fresh honeycomb.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't really know what you're supposed to do with honeycomb.
You can eat it.
You're supposed to just put it in your mouth and suck on it like a lozenge?
I mean, I don't know if you dry it out for a second, so it's a little. I mean, I've eaten a honeycomb that's like more crunchy.
What? Well,
I don't want like a sponge.
Well, I think it has to be moist, or else it's just wax.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I thought I ate honeycomb, but maybe I just ate the cereal honeycomb.
It's possible that you had the cereal, yes.
It's the cereal honeycomb. So you're not so much a honey boy as a honeycomb boy.
I do like. Yeah, that's a very big. That's misleading regarding what honeycomb actually is.
Honeycomb is just almost hurts your mouth as much as Captain Crunch. Almost.
I love cereal honeycomb.
Ew, what?
Yeah.
No one does.
Yeah.
No.
It's got little holes in it.
That was my favorite season of Serial, where they talked about a serial killer.
The honeycomb killer.
The honeycomb killer.
He was a sweet boy.
He killed a bowl of honeycomb. That was me. So, this week on Geesebumps.
Oh, yes.
This week on Geesebumps.
Boy, did we have a winner.
We haven't had a winner for a while.
We've never elected one of these Goosebumps a winner.
There are some that have risen above.
They've never crossed the finish line successfully.
Werewolf Skin is the closest.
Yes, based on pure relativity, there are some that have risen to the top.
I want to take a second before we get into the latest book that we read and say that for all of you who have been listening to us for almost a year now, we didn't intend for this podcast to become a We Hate R.L. Stine Goosebumps podcast.
No, Joe and I, we liked Goosebumps.
Yeah.
We were fans.
No, that's not true. We thought we liked the idea of Goosebumps. We didn't actually like them.
Yes.
As it
Well,
turns
when
out.
we were 12, we liked Goosebumps.
So as you've been listening to this podcast over the last year, we're coming upon like, I think 50-ish episodes pretty soon. You're going to see that the tone tends to change over time, and I don't want you to think that we're trying to like make this into a rag fest against one Mr. R.L. Stine. It's just evolving that way.
If anything, it's we love him dearly.
Yeah.
Because of all.
He's provided us a lot of joy, but it's really not like on purpose.
Yeah.
Joy and sorrow and all the feelings.
It's forced us to reevaluate what joy means.
Yes. And to reevaluate life on a number of levels, to be honest.
So when we go into this new book that we've read, keep that in mind that
We're not hating.
we're not hating,
We're just,
frustrated.
sure.
Yeah.
We know we want more from our man. We see his potential.
We're not mad, RL. We're just disappointed.
Come on the podcast.
Yeah, come on the podcast.
After that. So what did we read today, squad?
Wise as afraid of bees.
We read R.L. Stine's number 17 Goosebumps film titled Why I'm Afraid of Bees.
Why I'm afraid of bees.
Why I was afraid of bees.
Why I am haunted by the thought of bees.
There's a book called Why I'm Afraid of Bees, and on the cover of this book it says, he's no ordinary human being.
Bee.
Okay. Yes.
And then it has a boy's face, and I swear to God that the bug on this cover is a hornet.
It absolutely very
Does
much a
not
hornet.
look like a bee at all.
No.
But did you guys notice, shout out to Tim Jacobus, the haircut on said boy on body of bee hornet?
Yeah.
What would you describe it as?
Like a
buzz cut.
like a
Yeah.
buzz cut. Oh,
Because he's a bee.
oh, fuck.
I just dropped the book in anger, but I didn't notice it before.
Oh, god damn. The puns have to come in strong on this episode. There's so many good bee ones to make.
It's not really so much I wouldn't know that I would call that.
I would call it a pun, but it's a play on
It's a visual pun.
visual pun.
I asked Tim Jacobus if he would work on a logo for us for our podcast, and he was
And
like,
he said it was $2,000.
he was like, yeah, bitch, you got $5,000, then I'll do it.
But he was very nice.
He was
about
very
it.
nice. Yes, he was very nice, and he wrote back to my dumb ass, which he did not have to do.
So we have direct contact with the artist for the Goosebumps
Yes.
cover. If anyone wants to know
So-
how cool we are.
Yeah, that's one way to swing this,
Yeah.
huh?
Yes.
Why I'm Afraid of Bees is another gem in the library of Goosebumps books.
It is another lump of coal in the Goosebumps stocking.
Yeah, this one, gut reaction, everybody, good or bad?
So bored.
Awful.
So bored.
Not worth the paper it's printed on.
No.
Worse than the previous book that we read.
Absolutely.
And it's not. But what's really sad is like it's not even because it's incompetent.
Yeah.
No, it's just
It's just. There's all this stuff in it, and just none of it works.
it's like I really want to know what is R.L. Stine's process, because it, like, does he drop acid?
Well, we know he works back. We know he works back.
He works backwards. So like,
As time goes on, the whole works backwards thing makes absolutely zero sense as we continue reading these books. Well, I guess maybe the thing I could do is I can give us a quick synopsis of the story.
yeah, give us
Yeah, go ahead then.
the bullet pointed list of what.
Yeah,
what
give
occurs.
us the synopsis, Jeff. Why not?
So here's my bullet points of this story's plot. And I'm going to talk first. I'm going to give you the cast of characters so you know who I'm talking about. So our main character is Gary Lutz, which sounds like an old man's name.
The oldest.
We also have his mom and dad unnamed, his sister Chrissy, 3 bullies, Barry, Marv, and Carl, the next door neighbor, Mr. Andretti, who keeps bees, or is known as a beekeeper. There's Ms. Carmen, who operates an agency called Person to Person. There's Dirk Davis, who is effectively the antagonist of the book. And then there's Klaus, the cat.
Wouldn't it be a beetagonist?
Oh,
Shit.
No, it wouldn't. Like, guys, keep up. It wouldn't.
Huh? What?
Shut up. Hey, Danielle, you know what JoJo just said? That it was a pollen.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
No.
All right. So here's the synopsis of this book. This book stars Gary Lutz. Here's what I have word by word. I'm not gonna put anything else in there. Gary Lutz is lame and afraid of bees, but not like deathly afraid. Mr. Andretti fucks with him. He gets beat up. He is picked last for sports. He doesn't impress the ladies when he crashes his bike. And he finds an ad for an agency that'll switch his body with someone else on a video game message board. He gets beat up again. He hates his sister's cat. The agency is local. He tries to switch with Dirk Davis, accidentally switched with a bee instead.
As you do.
Whoops.
Darn it.
I'm a bee now.
Ah, shucks.
No one can hear me.
Boo.
Bzz, bzz, bzz.
No one can hear B.
Dirk lives nearby, apparently. The bee went into his body. Dirk doesn't want to leave Gary's body because he's making it work.
Somehow.
Miss Carmen can't do shit, apparently. Dirk is holding Gary's body hostage.
Yeah, and Miss Carmen's like,
Gary attacks Dirk with 1,000 bees.
1,000 bees.
Gary stings Dirk. Gary dies.
Goodbye, Gary.
Gary's alive in his body again for some reason and is now friends with Dirk and isn't as lame anymore for some reason.
What?
So that's my bullet point
Because
list.
he learned to appreciate what he had.
That's my bullet point synopsis of this book. So yeah, literally this book is supposed to be, the moral of this book is appreciate what you got.
Yeah, kid.
Because you might switch places with a bee, and then this guy who lives a few blocks away might hold your body hostage. And then that's like the plot, and then the other 60% of the book is Gary doing the same bee antics over and over in the bee's body.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty much like, what if we had a character who was a bee?
And that's the thing, though. If they had followed, instead of following this dumb asshole, if they had followed the bee inside his body, inside Dirk's body, amazing.
Listen, Danielle, there's a bee inside all of us.
There is, and he needs to shine, and he could have.
Yeah.
He could have had his star
There's a
turn
bee who wants to extend his many wings,
and fly.
weird prehensile tongue, and eat pollen.
Oh man, that tongue! Boy, does that tongue!
Yeah,
come
that
out.
tongue pops up quite a few times.
Let's do the part where R.L. Stine gets in here. What if I pull up Person to Person's YouTube page and play their channel header? Oh, look at this. It seems to have been made by R.L. Stine. God diggity dog. I'm going to hit play on the Person to Person advertisement. Let's watch it together, everybody.
Oh my god!
Click.
Click. Have you ever wanted to be someone else?
Be someone.
Have you ever felt wrong in your body?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever wanted to watch a bee dance?
Yeah, I do.
Well, boy, oh boy, do I have a thing for you. It's called Person to Person. Come to my office at the local parking lot where you can find me in the kiosk after you pay $10 to park.
Well, Danielle, this commercial that we just watched seems like a
And
pretty
responded to us.
and
Yes.
responded to us. Seems like
Interactive.
Seems like a pretty good. Well, it's YouTube. It seems like it was a live stream. So it seems like a pretty good deal. Do you want to try maybe giving it a shot? I mean, there is the risk that you might turn into a bee, but you could just swap bodies with somebody else.
Yeah, no, I am here for it.
Okay.
Get me the fuck out of here.
All right. So first, I don't know what the actual machinations are of it, but we're just going to assume that you hold this wire.
Yeah. I put it in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm gonna
This wire in my mouth.
I'm gonna dampen it up a little bit.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Science.
And then I'm going to throw some baking powder on there. Turn the lights on and off. We're gonna see what happens.
Okay, all right, sounds safe.
I got this kit from the person-to-person advertisement that we watched a few minutes ago. Very fast.
It's a multi-level marketing scheme.
Yeah.
Yes, so just all you have to do is sign up 5 friends.
Yeah, we will do that afterwards. We just got to find 5 friends.
You'll be rich.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the lights here, Danielle. Ready?
Yep, let's do it.
1, 2, 3. Click, 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 click.
Where the fuck am I?
Danielle, is that you?
No,
Oh, who am I speaking with?
your old buddy RL, I think.
RL. You.
Definitely not doing the voice that we're used to.
Well, I have this overwhelming urge to talk in an affected quasi-British accent.
But Danielle doesn't have the muscles
Danielle
in her
doesn't
mouth.
do that.
Danielle doesn't have the physical strength.
No, she's got the one bitch ass voice, and that's it.
All right.
Well, anyway, so tell us about this book we read. I'm sure you have access to all of Danielle's memories.
Yes.
Most of them are bun related. But what's going on with
There's a
this
lot of
book?
buns.
we're sorry about that, by the way.
It's I've seen worse. So here's the thing. Okay, so we all know that as we are entering puberty and experiencing adolescence, some of us start to experience a sexual awakening of a sort. And for boys, oftentimes because of the sort of American culture having undercurrents of homophobia, sometimes young men pick up on these homophobic sort of trends and start to fear other men's ding-dongs, i.e. their stingers. This boy is afraid of all them stingers. So he not only feels wrong in his body, but he also feels like his body is experiencing feelings that he doesn't quite understand. And he wants out because it's scary. It's scary to feel threatened by your body. So he becomes a bee. Yeah.
He becomes a bee.
And as a bee, he has to live out his fears, right? Because now, not only does he have a fucking big stinger, he's surrounded by other bees with big ol' stingers. And he thinks constantly he's about to get stung. He thinks that them stingers is coming for him.
But he also, RL, doesn't he also have the desire himself?
Yes, this is it. He discovers that he himself has an urge to sting. But he thinks that if he stings, he will die.
He will die.
So you're saying that it's about being at odds with being in your own skin and having sort of an out moment as a bee.
Yeah.
As a bee.
And coming to sort of accept who you are, but also with undertones of adolescent and sexual awakening.
Exactly.
You're a bee, you have sex.
You die.
You die.
You die.
All right. Well, RL, thank you for that explanation. I'm sorry that we had to.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I really, Joe, I when I was writing this book and I was exploring these themes, I could picture your face in my mind. And I
That's
could
cool.
see how delighted.
You could be how delighted.
You would be so delighted.
Okay, so you're both only allowed one more time to use the bee.
It's the only pun I have.
All right, RL, we're gonna need you to give Danielle back her body, as
Why?
upset as she is going to be about
I
that.
like it here.
No, I'm gonna need you to go.
Oh.
I'm gonna need you to go. So I'm gonna need you to just go ahead. Just bop yourself on the head. That'll probably shake you free.
Yes.
Can I hit my head against the wall instead? I'm not very strong.
You know what? I'll allow it. Go ahead.
Yeah, my arms is weak.
Go for it.
Well,
Danielle, are you back?
I'm back.
All right. So it only took 40 minutes. But now we can talk about the book.
Yeah.
Now we can do it.
What do
Now
you
we've done
got?
it.
Yeah. What do you got?
What you got?
What do you got, buddy?
So this is a long one and it's really bad. So this is on here's the note I wrote for page 8.
Yes.
And the note I wrote to myself was fuck you.
I have a note too that's on a different part of the book.
What says
That's
fuck
exactly
you?
the same thing.
That's the note I wrote. So this is on page 8. This is shortly after. This is like chapter 2. When Gary had gotten a little fright because he thought bees were after him because Mr. Andretti, his neighbor, was like, our bees are escaping. Oh God. This is Mr. Andretti, an adult.
Yes. Yes.
He says, ha ha, you should have seen the expression on your face, Gary. You never would believe how funny you looked. And then Gary's like, your bees weren't escaping? And Mr. Andretti slapped his knee, which is what people do when something is so funny. He goes, of course they weren't. I have complete control of these bees at all times. They come and go, bringing nectar and pollen back to the flowers. That doesn't really sound like control over the bees. That sounds like you're taking credit for what the bees do on their own.
Definitely appropriation there. Yeah.
And so then he goes, so this was all a joke, Mr. Andretti? I tried to sound angry, but that's hard to do when your voice is shaking even harder than your knees.
This was all a joke.
It was supposed to be funny. And then Mr. Andretti said, I guess that'll teach you to get a life and stop staring.
I had that highlighted too.
He replied, and then he turned away. I was so angry. What a mean trick. It was bad enough that having kids at my age pick on me all the time, but now the grown-ups were.
Gary's life kind of sucks.
Gary's life
is there's like no recourse for that. And like I would go to my parents and just be like, yeah, so listen, I don't know what to tell you, but the neighbor's messing with me.
Yeah.
The adult grown neighbor with bees is messing with me. And they really don't have they have to do something about that. They can't not. That's absolutely bonkers. Why would he do this? Why would Mr. Andretti do this? This is something that Mr. Andretti says on this same page 8. He goes, "Of course, sometimes I have to go out and recapture a few lost bees with my net."
Not how that works.
Is that how
No, you don't.
No.
You don't do that.
No.
Do you have a little tracker on every bee? What the hell are you talking about?
A GPS.
Jeff, you fucking idiot. A BPS.
Oh!
You fucking idiot. A BPS. But no, he doesn't have that because that would be whimsical.
He's really, he definitely, Mr. Andretti's relationship with his bees seems very problematic.
I was having a non-sexual day with my bees in the yard. And I had to go capture them with the net. I didn't mean to take my shirt off. It was just warm today, I said.
Yeah.
What do we think Mr. Andretti's real life job is? Because beekeeping is not his job.
He's a car racer.
Yes.
Look at it's Mario Andretti.
Oh, fuck.
The car man.
Yes. He drag races.
I think my conclusion with this part of the book that I drew, this is one of the first scenes we get.
Yeah.
This kind of helps us set up the world because remember it's a book about bees, so they can't just have bees out of nowhere.
Yeah, there can't be free roam bees.
Yeah, no free range bees here.
They have to establish that there are bees in this universe, I guess.
Yes.
And this is how they chose to do it, and also how they chose to convey the idea that Gary is
Is he afraid of them because of Mr. Andretti fucking with him?
I don't think he's really. I don't think his fear of bees is I think it's actually weird for a normal person to not be afraid of bees.
Yeah.
If that like everyone's sort of afraid of bees.
Yeah.
When you're covered with them, especially.
Yeah.
Scary.
It takes years to get to adulthood where you finally realize kids today. First of all, kids today.
It's today.
Kids today probably have a better appreciation for bees than we did as kids because there's
We were
more.
just told to kill them.
We were just told that bees were bad and they'll hurt you and sting you.
Yeah. So just to that point, Jeff, this is a very good point. So when you think about it, the premise of this book, by that I mean the title, is Why I'm Afraid of Bees. So you read that and you go, okay, that means that there's an atypical for him. The premise of the book is that okay, he's going to talk about why he's afraid of this thing that isn't scary.
Right.
But that would be if it was the title was something like Why I'm Afraid of Milk.
Right.
You read that and you're like,
Yeah.
well, there's something weird there. But we have people who cover themselves with bees as a dare.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the title means anything.
Yeah.
They're bees. They are scary. The cover of this book is a scary
The
cover
cover is
because it shows
horrifying.
most of a bee.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that that Gary has seen My Girl and is like,
My girl.
my girl, I will die in.
To bring up My Girl, really, and I know that it's a goof, Danielle, but honestly, that movie made me more afraid of bees.
That's terrifying. Fucking scary as shit. It killed Macaulay Culkin.
Bees killed Macaulay Culkin, and we've never forgave them for it.
No.
Oh, they got Mac?
They got back, yes. But yeah, no, I honestly, it's the name of the book really should be Why I'm No Longer Afraid of Bees,
If it made sense, it would do that, yeah.
because that's the actual path that the book is taking. Is that
Or one day is a bee
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
my day is a bee? Yeah.
And now I also want to bring up page 11 and 12. This is all in chapter 2.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
basically,
yes.
I'm covering this first
We're
chunk
giving us
of
the
the
first
book.
taste of the book.
Yeah. At the end of the chapter, he's playing baseball, and someone calls him Lutz the Klutz because he got 4 straight strikes. They give him an extra strike because he's so bad.
Yeah,
But
which
it's
is
really weird
nice.
because it's like,
Yeah.
why give him an extra strike to insult him or to
Right?
really give him? Do you like him?
It
Because you're
seems-
taking extra time out
Seems
for him.
like you're being mean.
Do you want him to succeed, or are you just trying to shame him more?
Because he's so bad at sports, they're like, Gary gets 4 strikes before he's out. And you hear that and you go, oh, because it's so funny because he could have 1,000,000 strikes, but he'd never go. But then you think about it, 4 is just 1 extra. So at most, it's like an inconvenience. So it's like a thing that they would be doing well, Gary has a make-a-wish to hit the ball, so let's give him another strike so he can do it. And then they're like, why don't we just give him 1,000,000 strikes? And they're like, because he has to feel like he earned it. So it sounds like a nice thing.
I guess my question also is, why do they even let him play with them if they don't like him that much?
Yeah.
That's another question, Jeff, because here's what
Yeah.
happens next. Someone calls him Lutz the Klutz,
Yeah.
which is not a very good name.
No.
No, that's terrible.
And then someone's like, looking good, dude. I couldn't believe my bad luck. The three voices belong to the biggest, meanest, toughest creeps in the entire neighborhood, who, by the way, don't really show up for the rest of the book.
No.
Barry, Marv,
And
Carl.
Carl.
With a
K.
which is a much more violent letter.
Yes.
The next, they're my age, but they're at least 5 times as big.
That's real big.
That happens.
When they're not swinging back and forth on the tire swing in their gorilla cage, I don't understand that one. What's their favorite activity? You guessed it, beating me up. Give me a break, guys, I pleaded. I'm having a bad day. They laughed. You want a break, Lutz? One of them shouted menacingly, here. And then they punched him in the face.
They fucking rip him up.
They destroy him.
We just have an off-screen beating that lasts for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
How do we know? Because the very next line on chapter 3 is 10 minutes later.
Yes.
That's a long time. Look, go try to do stand up and get 5 minutes, and it turns into 18 years. 10 minutes
Beat up
of
for
getting
10
beat up.
minutes?
I feel bad for those guys. They're going to be tired.
Their knuckles are going to be sore.
How is he alive?
Yeah. And they really, it might be the most violent scene that we
Yeah.
don't really see
They
because
thrashed the hell out
They
of him.
beat the shit out of
they
him for 10
fuck
minutes.
him up 3, and it's kind of scary. And because Gary's a skinny little dorky kid,
Yeah, it's just a little beanpole.
and he's getting completely like destroyed by 3 effectively like adult-sized kids.
So this is our introduction to this character. It's really rough.
Yeah.
Pretty,
He's really sucky.
pretty sad.
But then we got he has to do something that makes us like him.
Right.
You.
So you know what that is?
Oh,
It's on page 19.
I don't
Oh
remember.
man, he does something likable.
Is it gaming?
I turned on the computer.
There it
Decided
is.
to have another try at the Planet Monstro fantasy game.
I love it.
Stuck on for 2 days. And he sucks at it, but then he goes, I thought I'd check Computer Note, one of the electronic bulletin boards I'm connected to on the internet. So this is so here's something absolutely buck wild, right? That was probably one of the most advanced
Yes.
computers
Who told
in the
him about
world.
that?
Yeah. It's
That's fucking
told
next
R.L.
level.
Stein.
It's 94. Prodigy.
Yeah.
Prodigy is the web service that you can use in 1994, maybe.
And to kind of ingratiate me, 2R from Sacramento. That's where I'm from.
And what does it say?
The only way to escape from the flood on your spaceship in Space Quest 20 is to inflate your suit and float away from L in St.
Boom.
That's fucking
That is life advice.
He went to a message board for a video game to get and give tips and hints for the video
a
game.
message board was like Twitter in the 90s.
For people who were not alive.
Imagine Twitter as a bulletin board in your local neighborhood.
Bulletin boards still exist. You can still connect to them. It's just really wild.
Imagine Reddit.
It's really wild.
Reddit populated by 10 people who all like to dress up like wizards.
It's like a Reddit of 10. This first 20 pages is like, it sets us up everything. Like he's picked on, doesn't like the neighbor, I guess doesn't like bees.
His
or
parents
honey or
don't
something.
really.
Parents, no need to
They're not
argue.
super empathetic for his plights.
no.
And then we see page 20, and this is when this is our first, the canaries in the coal mine of reading Goosebumps books. This was our first sign that something was terribly wrong.
Yep.
Because so far, it's kind of a pretty run-of-the-mill, like, coming-of-age sort of a story, even if it was horror-based. Like, at this point, we had yet to get something that was like, well, this is, uh-oh. But then we get to page 20 where it says, I decided to leave another electronic note asking Ted to explain what he meant. But as I started typing, I noticed another message at the very bottom of the computer screen. I read it. Then I read it again very carefully. Take a vacation from yourself, change places with someone for a week. Now, this is continued on chapter 20, chapter 5, page 21. What could that mean? I pressed enter so I could read what was next. take a vacation from yourself, person-to-person vacations, 113 Roach Street, Suite 2B, or call 1-800-555-SWAP. So there's a lot. There's
so much there.
It's an ad.
so much
You saw a
crap.
banner
Let's start-
ad, basically.
No, Jeff. There was no such thing as banner ads. Advertising didn't exist. Any of that. This is an electronic bulletin board. Everything was there, had to be put there on purpose. And this was a bulletin board for playing video games, which means that the person who wrote that ad went to this bulletin board where kids are playing games and trading game notes. Is like, this is as good a place as any to advertise. That's the first part.
That's predatory.
That makes no fucking sense.
Then there's the fact that the address is local.
The address is local. What are the chances of that? Because this is seemingly a multi-state board because there's messages from people from Ithaca and etc. And this is the best part. And this is the part that I didn't realize until now on my second reading looking at my notes. Call 1-800-555-SWAP. They fucking established a 1-800 number for this.
So this is a legitimate business.
Well, legitimate is taking it a bit far.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
So RL's like path to get us to him getting body swapped.
This was us. This is R.L. Stine because he's like, I can't just have it start.
No.
I can't just have it start with the premise in place. Like he couldn't just start with my dad's a scientist.
Yeah.
Right? Or my dad's a wizard.
The point is, like, it's 20 pages to get us to the place where we can say, like, okay, there's a thing in this universe that allows us to swap bodies.
Nonchalantly.
Nonchalantly. But they do it in the way that is the weirdest, which is not only is there a way to swap bodies, that's not even like to Miss Carmen should literally be like a billionaire. She's discovered like the holy grail of medicine, and she's basically just like
learned to defy physics.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I work out of a horrible strip mall.
It's
and I'm
just
trying to
her.
make ends
There's
meet.
no other
It's just
employees.
her. It's just her.
It's just
she
her.
cannot afford to take another person on, but she did waste all of her money setting up a 1-800 number, which, by the way, she would not have time to check.
No,
she's
she
so
would
busy.
Not her by herself there. But then she has this thing that is portable.
Yeah.
She brings it to you.
Yeah.
It's
No, the entire conceit of like how they do the transformation is glossed over like very quickly.
so badly that it's appalling.
Yeah. No, and also so let's jump to that part because we can speak a little bit to it. The actual transformation.
Wait, no. There's one more thing I want to bring up here, and this is very important because this was forgotten about. You guys forgot it, and I know you did.
Oh.
You guys forgot this. So this is on page 28. Again, this is the first 30 pages of the book. A lot of ground was covered here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Miss Carmen is like, page 28. Cautiously, I walked back over to the glass booth. She opened the little slot at the bottom of her window and pushed out a book. I picked it up and saw it was a photo album like the one my parents have from their wedding.
Weird detail.
Yeah. I opened it and started looking through it. It's all kids, I exclaimed.
This is the beginning of a fucking horror movie.
All my
Exactly.
age. Correct, Miss Carmen.
It's a red fucking flag is
They're
what this
all
is.
interested in switching lives with someone else for a week. Wow, I studied the album. A lot of the kids in the pictures looked big and strong and cool. Kids like that wouldn't be afraid of anything. I told myself. I wondered what it would be like to be one of them. You can pick a boy or even a girl, for that matter, to trade places for a week, Miss Carmen was saying. This is like the opening of fucking Total Recall.
Yeah.
It is. You actually,
This is
yeah.
the
a
hell
dystopian horror story.
This is like a cyberpunk dark future.
Yes, where kids are stolen.
Yeah, and it's
bodies.
just kids. It's just kids.
Just kids.
There's no
Only
adults.
It's just kids.
Because you don't want to go into an old body, you want to go into a fresh body.
So this, just so we're clear, like this is the plot of this story so far. Okay, this is the plot of the story.
Just so we were clear,
far.
we are not making up this information.
No, this is not an
straight from
exaggeration.
the book.
Little kid has a really tough time at little kid work, which is, I guess, baseball.
Yeah.
And then he decides to, on his online forum, join a body swap child dating service, basically.
Yes.
This book is fucking unhinged.
And that's the thing, is that you have this wild setup, and you can see already where our minds have gone. Like, you can go in so many incredible directions with this.
Yeah. But do they?
But do they?
No,
Absolutely
like
not.
R.L. Stine chose the longest possible path
Yes. The
with
slowest,
with the most detours that led nowhere.
Yeah.
muddiest,
And
longest.
It is. This is atrocious.
And the thing that bugged me, it's just the little things in it, because when you do this very complicated path to get to the plot, you open up a million fucking plot holes. One of which is the thing that seems so stupid and kind of dull, but Gary doesn't have to get parent consent to do any of this.
No, Miss Carmen is able to do this without a parent's signature. Also, Miss Carmen takes a picture. This is on page 29. Don't feel bad, because he has trepidations, because it's what she's proposing is bonkers.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad, Miss Carmen said. Many people take some time to get used to the idea of a body switch. You can think it over as long as you wish. She took out a small camera. But in the meantime, which is a terrifying thing to hear.
Give us a smile, sweetheart.
Run.
Would you mind if I took your picture? That way we can find out if anyone is interested in being in your body for a week. What a weird way to describe that.
This is how you get your kidney stolen.
yes.
And it's free, by the way.
It's totes free.
It's free.
This is all
Does
free.
all the work.
Yeah.
She comes
All
to
free.
you to murder you, because that's the only possible setup that this could be for.
This book gives us on surface level, everything is legit. The book doesn't go into any of the, this is a weird business.
this is fucking
and
weird,
like,
right?
why are you doing this? And
It's kind of like which is what's wild, is because we don't get any impression that this is in the distant future, but the way that Gary reacts to this whole situation
He's like,
is
cool.
Okay, yeah, sure.
this is
Yeah.
pretty normal.
This is what adults do.
I got a Game Boy last year. This tracks with the way technology is working. So after this intro, which Jojo has done, Jojo, you've done a wonderful job.
You have.
Thank
you covered the
Finally,
intro.
someone said it. I'm free from hell.
You fleshed out the beginning of this book in a way that I think that our listeners, I know they're not readers, listeners,
They should by all means not be readers.
they shouldn't be readers, you have a good idea about what this book is positing without having read it possibly.
Yes.
Because after the actual switch happens, which is without much fanfare.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wanted to look at that scene because it is so without fanfare.
Yeah. Danielle, do you want, because I wanted to just speak a little bit to the actual transformation
Yes.
of him to be.
Yes. I have the whole section highlighted because I'm just like, what?
Somebody wants to switch places with Gary.
Yes.
He's not the
He
one
who thinks that his body is the worst.
Yeah. Somebody else saw his photo.
And was like, yes.
I want to be that for a week. And that person's name,
What is it?
Dirk Davis.
Okay, that's not a real name. That's not a real name. That's nope. This is for porn.
They gave a porn star name to a child. Dirk wants to switch with Gary because Gary's smarter than him. And he wants Gary to pass his tests for the week.
Do math.
for his math test.
Which is the most roundabout, complicated way.
Like, he doesn't even want to pass his math classes for a year. For a week.
Let's see. So let's find the actual text. So they set up in the kitchen, right?
Yeah. They got
She
their
shows them a
Game
picture of Dirk Davis, and he's like, "The fuck who wants to be me?"
Like, this bad bitch right
Yeah.
here.
And then don't pay attention. Okay, so they're sitting down. A bee flies into the kitchen, as you can tell what's going to happen.
As you can imagine.
Yeah, and it's buzzing around.
And she just fastens a strap around his wrist.
A black band around his wrist.
That
yeah.
is the setup.
That's how you do
Body
it.
Swapping.
That's how you know.
You put
This
on
is-
a bracelet and hold a Game Boy.
And then she started fiddling with some wires attached to one of her machines, and the bees flying around, and then bzz, zap. Right?
Yep. That's it. Just
You
zap.
got hooked up to a lie detector.
Yeah, he got tied to a chair, and then a bee flew on his face, and then he was a bee.
Yeah. So the thing about this entire scene, which bugs me to no
Bugs you?
end, yes. She goes to his house to do this mind-boggling science experiment with
It
him.
is a little bit mind-boggling, yeah.
Mind-boggling, physics-shattering, absolutely timeline-changing revolution.
Why? How? Dirk's not there.
No,
No.
it's like a distance. It's like a Zoom meeting.
How is they did this through social distancing? How literally they couldn't. RL was like, oh fuck, like I want to have them switch bodies. It would make sense to have them in the same room,
How do I do that though?
but I don't want the Dirk reveal to happen quite yet.
No, it's got to be a little different.
It's so. The thing that I have written down as sort of the ongoing issue with this book is the complete and total like laziness
Yes.
from the plot devices.
It's like whatever the laziest possible
Yet complicated.
complicated solution could be. That's what we have.
How I just don't know. Like, was Dirk at his house with another staff member that we don't know, and they're like, "All right, we're gonna plug you in
Right.
too, Dirk."
3, 2, 1, zippy.
Yeah, or do they just? Is it just like, all right, well, we're gonna take your consciousness in this machine and then go to Dirk's?
We're going to swap your consciousness, and that'll be that.
It's just so weird that that's the big. It's not like The Fly where there's a chamber.
Not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
fancy.
Yeah, you don't
Not a
have
big
to
deal.
drink or eat anything. It's not like hey, 6 hours before, don't drink anything.
Yeah, no. Let's just put on a thing on your wrist and wake up as B.
It just killed me that the person he's switching with doesn't have to be there for it at all.
But somehow, because the B is there,
Yeah. Okay.
turns into the B.
There's a bee around.
Yes.
Eh,
I don't think we were clear about that at the beginning.
yeah.
So Dirk and Gary are the two who are switching. Gary ends up in a B.
Yes,
Dirk ends up in Gary.
as planned.
B ends up in Dirk.
B is in Dirk.
B ends up in
We have
Yeah.
B Dirk.
So they happened, and the B wasn't wearing a bracelet.
No, the B wasn't even like involved in the process. It was just ambient in the room.
It was ambient.
Ambient.
Yeah.
God, no.
But like the entire look, I get these books don't have to be ultra realistic, and it's always going to be like goofy storytelling. But if you're going to set up like a very straightforward means to swap bodies, it has to make a little sense or have some consistency.
Like, try.
It's one of the, it's really bad.
Okay, my only thing from the B,
From the B era, the B part of the book.
the B
B
era
era.
of the book.
We have before B, BB, and then we have after B, AB.
I wanted to look quickly at some of the encounters that he has with other bees to give the listeners a sense of what this entire fucking endless section of the book is like. This is on page, for me, it's 40. But for you guys, it's in chapter 14, early on. And Gary says he's in a hive. He's in Mr. Andretti's hive.
Yeah. Which, it's like, that sucks, right? I hate this guy. Now I'm one of his bees.
Now I work for him. Shit. Out of my left eye, I saw another bee glaring at me. I froze in my tracks.
He's a bee, by the way.
Yeah, he's a bee. Did bees attack each other inside their hives? I wondered. I didn't really remember reading anything about that in my bee book. And he has a bee book.
Yeah.
And that's where he has all his bee facts.
He remembers a bee book. He doesn't have it.
He read a bee book at one point, and that is his trove of facts, and that he relies on in this book to make so he's not making any bee faux pas.
Right. Don't want to upset the other bees.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember reading anything about that. So this bee, but he looked ready for a fight. And it's like, damn, Gary, everyone just wants to beat your ass. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's not your body.
Maybe it's you.
Please leave me alone. I begged in my tiny voice. Please give me a break. The bee glared back at me. I'd never seen such big, angry looking, eyes. Slowly, I started backing away from him. I squeaked nervously. I've got to be going now. I have to get to work. The bee.
Oh, is that my cell phone's going?
Oh, my cell phone's going off. Oh, jeez. I gotta take this.
The bee bulged his eyes and waved his antennas in a threatening way.
Which I'd love to see what that means.
That's what I want to know. What the hell does... First of all, how do you bulge your eyes as a bee? And what does waving antenna menacingly look like? Like, what...
One of them has a knife in its hand.
That would help. That would help get the point across.
Hold out a switchblade.
Yes. It's just like, shing.
That's every interaction he has.
Every interaction, yeah.
Gary assumes that every bee is going to beat him up.
Yes. And it's like, so basically everyone instantly, upon meeting Gary in any form,
wants to fuck him
to
up.
fucking kick his ass.
People, bees.
Bees, dragonflies,
Yeah, that monster in that game he plays.
cats.
He's just got an unlikable personality. I have a thing from the B section. The only thing that I want to say from the B section.
Okay.
And it's the thing that I wrote fuck you next to.
Cool. What is it?
So it's chapter 19. So the B section really is just like he eventually is like, I gotta get back and talk to Miss Carmen.
Yeah.
And make her turn me back into a bee. So he has to fly around. He's going to Dirk's house, etc. So he's out and about. He's outside of the hive, which there are dangers out there.
Oh, yes.
Standing on a big leaf. This is the end of chapter 19.
Ah, yes, this.
This is one of the most. This made me really hate R.L. Stine when I read this.
Jeff has brought this moment up several times.
I keep since I read this book, it's all I talk about.
Yes.
So he's trying to get back to Miss Carmen. I flew up onto a tree and tried to figure out which way to fly. When you're an insect, everything looks different to you. Things that seem small to a person appear huge to a bee.
What?
Thanks for telling me this at the end of the book. As I wanted to be sure I didn't get myself mixed up and fly off in the wrong direction. Standing on a big leaf, I gazed up and down the block until I was sure I knew which way to go. As I got ready to take off, a large shadow suddenly loomed over my head. At first, I thought it was a small bird, but then I realized it was a dragonfly. Stay calm, I told myself. A dragonfly is an insect, isn't it? And insects don't eat each other, right?
Absolutely not.
I guess no one had told the dragonfly. Before I could move, it zoomed down, wrapped its teeth around my middle, and bit me in two.
It's pretty definitive.
That's pretty fucking
Pretty
definitive.
definitive.
Fucking two.
Kind of hard to bounce back from that one.
End of chapter 19. That is what we're left with. And I was like, oh, fuck. Things are...
Sucks that I have to go to history class before I could read the next page.
Yeah. Chapter 20. I uttered a last gasp and waited for everything to go dark. It took me a few seconds to realize that the dragonfly had turned and buzzed off in the other direction. My imagination was running away with me. That's what always happened when I got overtired. R.L. Stine,
Myself getting cut in two.
what a fucking cheap ass tactic. That is the worst stinger. The worst stinger.
Worst
Ah,
stinger.
Jeff, you fucking asshole. Now I'm on RL's side.
That is the cheapest, laziest psych cop out. It's not even like there's any sort of, maybe this thing happened or didn't. The chapter ends with him saying,
It did happen.
it happened.
Kidding.
Got bit in two.
The chapter ends with the dragonfly. He literally says, it wasn't like the dragonfly came close to me and I waited for its jaws to come down on me. And then chapter 20, it flew away instead. No, it was the dragonfly put me in its motherfucking mouth.
And I died.
And I died that day.
It bit me in, not even like it just bit me. It bit me in two. And I am now dead. Never mind. My bad, bro.
Oh, wait. No, that was I just imagined that for a second. No big deal.
I had been trying to give the book room to breathe. I had been trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. When I read that shit, I was like, fuck this book. Fuck this book. That made me so mad. Not even from a Goosebumps perspective.
No, that's definitely like R.L. Stine being like, fuck you. I care so little about this right now.
There has to be like unwritten rules of writing books, and one of them has to be don't do that.
Yeah.
No, you're wrong.
It's kind of hard, you know.
Masterfully executed, Jeff.
He does.
Perfect book.
That's like somebody just lying to you and saying, "Ha, fooled you." No, you lied.
Stupid ass.
Perfect book. 10 out of 10.
Just lied. That's all he did. It's worse than it was all a dream.
It is actually
all a
worse.
dream.
I just wish that RL didn't have to lie to me in this book
Why?
to build up false tension.
Why can't we have a trusting relationship?
Yeah, why can't we have a trust? Now, RL Stine, I don't trust you with anything anymore.
Don't really trust that R.L. Stine anymore.
Everything you
He's
say
ruined that.
Yeah, it's like I feel cheated on because now it's like he wants to get back with that next book, and I'm like, RL, I'm always going to see you as a cheater now.
He's
I'm
a
sorry.
liar.
Yeah, you've broken my trust.
You've broken my trust. We can be friends, but we will never go back to the way that our relationship
than
was before
Yeah.
the end of chapter 19.
Right. Yep.
Fun.
Yeah,
Super fun.
So frustrating.
That's the B section.
Do we want to just talk about what happens at the end?
Yeah, I'm getting sick of this book.
Yeah.
And nothing else interesting happens in it.
No. There's just a few more weird bullshit things.
This book does not have a twist ending.
No, it does not.
No.
It has an untwist ending.
It has the opposite of a twist ending.
Yes.
So at the end of the book, Gary is trying to get back in his body.
Because Dirk has said he doesn't want to trade back. He loves being Gary so much because apparently Gary knew a bunch of chicks and could talk to them.
Yeah, skateboarding.
Which goes to show that it's Gary's personality, which is Gary's problem, not his physical
Yeah.
body.
Yeah, he just sucked.
Yeah.
So he's trying to find a way to kind of convince Dirk to go back on his word.
Which apparently Dirk can just be like, nah, I don't. Dirk is also effectively giving up his whole life as Dirk.
yeah,
but he hated being Dirk. He loves being Gary. It works out.
and I hope we're going towards the section where we see Dirk as a B, right? The boy stared at me. This is chapter 22. The boy, i.e.,
The B.
no, Dirk Diggler.
Yeah, the B.
This is page 96.
Right, the B. Yes, okay. The boy B stared at me. Then he grinned. I was confused. What was he grinning about? Hey, you can hear me! I cried. Now, Dirk, quote unquote, motioned with his hand. You want me to follow you? I asked. I felt excited. Are you taking me someplace where we can get help? Dirk, quote unquote, grinned again. Then he turned and walked around the corner of the house. I didn't know where we were going, but I knew I had to follow him. I found, quote unquote, Dirk in the backyard. He said to me. He pointed to a big rose bush and grinned. Then he stuck his nose deep inside one of the blossoms. He said, yum.
Pretty good for a bee in a person's body.
That's B Dirk.
Yeah, I kind of figured all that out.
And I personally find it delightful.
A treasure trove of comedy could have been made from B being in Dirk's
my
body.
God.
But instead, we got a page and a half of just that.
Just that one scene of the most
How does
interesting.
he have clothes? Look, I don't want to get into any
What
of
do his
this.
parents think happened to him? What?
Yeah, he can't talk anymore.
This was the
Whether-
bare minimum R.L. Stine would have to do so people wouldn't ask, well, what happened to Dirk's
Dirk?
body this whole time?
It's sniffed a lot of roses. That's
Yeah,
what.
that's how it's just been out in the garden, not eating regular food, sniffing roses. So the end of the book, I think, Jojo, you were
Yes.
speaking to.
We're warming up.
You were warming
The
up.
very last part of the book was essentially that he wanted to convince Dirk to give him the body back.
And Miss Carmen said, "There's nothing we can do."
No,
By
we
the
can
way.
do- yeah, she gave up. There's nothing we can do. There's a whole thing. There's a whole thing where he goes to the lab and he's able to find a way to talk to her through like a loudspeaker, and she's like, "Yeah, I can't help you. You're fine."
Sorry, my hands are tied.
Yeah, Dirk doesn't want to leave. So
Yeah,
what can we do?
So what happens was, at the end of his conversation, because he's gonna die soon because bees only live 3 months.
Yeah.
This is page 104. I couldn't move. The bees had taken me prisoner because this is after his conversation with Dirk. He's a bee. The bee swarm came after him. But to my horror, they started to drag me away. This is page 105, chapter 24. I struggled to scream away, but they turned their stingers on me. Were they some kind of bee police?
Fucking fascist bees. Jesus.
Pig
fascists.
pig police bees.
We flew past the window. Help, I called. Gary glanced from his plate of crackers, and honey was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what the bee looks like specifically.
Yeah, all bees look the same to him as far as he's aware.
He's not like doing a fuck you from his crackers.
But because he had instinct, all the bees followed him. And then, like, page 106, the hive stirred to life. The buzzing grew into a dull roar, and then a loud roar, and then a deafening roar. Round and around I raged, flying faster and faster, throwing myself frantically against the sticky hive walls, tumbling, darting, buzzing fiercely. The whole hive is in a
Fuck all y'all. Fuck
You!
powerful instigator. Trembling over each other, raging, the page 107, trembling over each other, raging through the air, we swarmed into Gary's room. That's fucking wild. Laying in his hair. Help, his weak cries, help me. I dropped down on the tip of Gary's nose. Have you had enough?
Yeah, also, we didn't specify Dirk can hear.
Apparently, yes.
Dirk can hear, which they wave off in one line, basically saying, like, yeah, I guess some bee DNA got in me, whatever. Have you had enough? That's not a joke either.
No,
Have you had enough? I demanded. Are you ready to give me back my body? Never. Never. I don't care what you do to me. You'll never get your body back. It's mine.
I'll deal with a million bees.
And so then at the very end of the chapter, he's like, fuck this. And then I stab my razor sharp stinger into the side of Gary's nose, his nose. Ow!
Which earlier in the book, he states, because he wanted to do it to Mr. Andretti, oh, if I sting him, I'll die. I'm not going to do
A
it.
tiny bee defeated a huge enemy. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. What have I done? I gave up my life for a chance to sting Dirk Davis.
Revenge is not the way to go.
I knew I was doomed, but I wanted to stay alive as long as I could. I thought, as I felt my strength, page 109, my strength fading, maybe I'll have a chance to say goodbye to my family. It was hard to breathe, so tired, so weak. I floated out of the window and sank into the grass below. So he died.
Yeah,
He dead.
He dead.
Be dead.
And then
dead.
Cut to this. I sat up slowly. The ground spun beneath me. Where was I? My backyard? I blinked, struggling. The old maple tree. Was I alive? Was I really alive?
For Christ's sake.
Did I have my strength back? I decided to test it. But for some reason, my wings didn't work. So this is the end of this book. I'm not going to talk anymore. So here's what happens. When bees sting, the reason they die when they sting is they can't. Their stingers are like hooked.
Yeah.
So when they sting you, they can't pull them back out. So what happens is they rip themselves in half as they try to fly away.
Yeah.
And then they die.
It's self-mutilation, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not really described.
No.
But also, here's the part that I just think is absolutely fucking bonkers. So he flies out, he lands on the lawn, dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then he wakes up in his own body, which means that the body of Dirk, which was surrounded by bees,
Yes.
teleported
Yes.
out of Gary's room
Through space and time.
And swapped space and time with Gary's real bee body in the yard.
Yep.
And his mind as well.
Yep.
Which means that wherever the bee was
Is dead.
His
His body's
bee,
gone, man.
the Dirk bee, wherever he was, like, he vanished. Dirk bee vanished, and it was just Dirk in his body, like face in a rose bush. And he's like, well, this ain't so bad. And then the bee awakens back to his body.
Dead.
Like,
Fucking no, not dead yet, Jeff.
Yeah,
dying.
just dying. Just
He returns
about
to his body
die.
stung in half, and he's like, shit.
He-
and then he died.
He had 24 hours of sweet
Blissful.
human time being able to
Yeah.
smell the roses.
And that was it.
And then,
All I want to do is stop and smell the roses.
yeah.
and that's a good thing you did, because
He's dead.
And you think, and for a second, you think when this happens, oh, it was a dream.
Yeah.
Or it was
No.
fake. No, it all happened.
all happened.
What follows from this is like
Like 2 weeks later type of
it's
thing.
like a chapter. It's like a month later,
Yeah.
and it's a chapter of him going like, "I'm friends with Dirk now, and everything's fine, and I appreciate my life, and we're friends."
Why
and
would he be
I-
friends with Dirk?
Tried to steal my body, but
He's
we
trying to
bros.
steal your fucking body, and you're friends with him. You fucking.
He's the only one who
idiot.
likes me.
You codependent motherfucker.
And then he appreciates all his family more. But that's basically he wakes up, he's grateful. The end.
The end. Literally the end.
Yep.
I learned a valuable lesson at the cost of this dead bee.
Yeah. The twist is the bees will suffer for our sins.
He did. I didn't.
Yeah. And also,
Joe didn't.
he's not afraid of bees anymore.
Yep.
Which honestly, he should because
be
now
fucking
he should be terrified of them now.
Traumatized as hell.
Whenever he sees a bee, it's just like, I know what you look like up close. You are horrifying.
Post-traumatic bee disorder.
Yes, exactly.
Literally, it literally is the laziest storytelling ever. It's just, hey, like, I'm back in my body.
What's up?
No reason why, not a how.
It does no explanation. I don't think he talks to Miss Carmen again.
No. Well, no, he goes because the only thing that he says is there was a girl he saw when he was a bee going to person who was thinking about using it. And then he went and found her and was like, bro,
how?
Don't. Because they all fucking live near him.
Yeah,
Dirk,
they're all down the street.
Here's the weird thing. Dirk lives like 5 blocks from him and is the same age. Wouldn't he have known Dirk from school?
They would probably be in the same school district.
Yeah, right?
They would.
So
They would know each other.
So how many kids at this school have swapped bodies that we don't know about?
We'll never know, Jeff. But that business is still open. That is not resolved. Miss Carmen is not stopped. I think the moral of the story is unassailable. So
I think
there's
you're
really
right.
nothing else to talk about.
All right. Well, I think we give this book way more than it deserved as far as time.
Yep. Thank you to the band Dog Party for the use of our theme song, Bad Dream, off the album Hit and Run. It's a great song by a great band. You can check them out at dogpartylive.com and dogparty.bandcamp.com. Geesebumps is just one piece of comedy content from the Mom Hat Comedy crew. You can check out all of our works at mom-hat.com. If you want to get in contact with Geesebumps specifically, you can do so on Twitter at geesebumps_pod, as well as on Instagram at geesebumps_pod, and you can email us at geesebumpspod@gmail.com.
You got it right. Good job.
Our next episode is going to be coming out on July the 14th, which will be a mini bump. I'm thinking where we're going to talk about the first 2 Fear Streets.
I think we're going to have
because by that point, they'll both be out.
Yeah.
And Danielle, do you want anything to say?
I have abandonment issues. I'm very sensitive to rejection, and I just want to put it out there into the world that I desperately need validation. I might die if I don't get it.
Might die.
I might die.
Danielle might die.
So maybe if you wanted to save a life today, you could
if you don't, we get it.
leave us a review on iTunes, Apple, whatever it's called now, Apple
Podcasts.
Casts. You could leave us a positive review. And yeah, that's it. So, if you wanted to save a poor young orphan
Podcast.
podcast living off of scraps and seeds, you could leave us a review and you could give us life.
Yeah. For 2 cents a day, you can keep Danielle alive.
You could give me validation.
Good job.
Thank you.
So how about that final passage?
All
Danielle?
right. So this is, oh boy. All right. I'm not even going to try to introduce this. I opened the door and went into my room. Sure enough, there was the old swarm buzzing away over the plate of honey and crackers on the bed. Hi, guys, I said cheerfully. Time to leave now. I walked over to the bed and waved my hands at them, trying to shoo them back out the window. A few of them buzzed angrily at me. I laughed to myself. Then I picked up the plate of crackers and honey and dumped it out the window. Go get it, I told them.
They're not fucking dogs.
I shooed them gently out the window. Goodbye, I called to them as they left. Thanks. Take good care of the honeycombs. I'll try to come visit as soon as I can. When the last bee was gone, I turned around and saw my parents. They were standing absolutely motionless in the doorway, staring at me, frozen with shock. Dad, I said. Mom? My dad blinked and seemed to come back to life. He crossed the room and put a hand on my shoulder. Gary, are you feeling all right? Just fine, I replied, grinning happily. Just fine. And that's literally it. That is the actual end of this book.
Yeah, there's another chapter, but
Wait, what? Ah, fuck. Shit, hang on.
it's okay though.
It.
You know what? It's okay because I'm JoJo and I have a PhD.
I'm Danielle and I have some sort of accreditation, maybe.
My name is Jeff, and I have a business proposition for you two.
Yes.
Well, too bad because we're done talking about it because this has been Geesebumps, the Did You Mean Goosebumps podcast, and until next time, stay out of the basement.
Just like somebody I used to know.